Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining another episode of the Dreamers Lab podcast of Metaverse Summit. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming Michal, who is the CEO and co-founder of Twinzo. Welcome, Michal.
Ingzi, thank you so much for the invitation. Hello, everyone.
Amazing. So Twinzo is an amazing product, very interesting. Potentially, if I'm lucky enough, I will be seeing some demo today as well. And Michal is a seasoned entrepreneur as well. So potentially, Michal, can you start with sharing some of your previous experiences and the reason why you co-founded Twinzo?
Yeah, so I'm a curious guy, and 3D was for me always something that I wanted to touch in some way. And Twinzo is actually my second business. The first one called Infotech, I founded in 1999, last millennium. There is a new CEO now, and Twinzo is actually a spin-off from Infotech. We started to work on Twinzo in 2014, so now it's like 9 years. And hopefully we will be able to close also our first funding, because till now we self-financed everything. And now we hope to get some push to get even better market penetration and to make digital twins available to everyone.
Very intriguing. So I'm thinking potentially it will be very useful for the audience to understand what's the landscape, of 2014 in terms of everything, 3D pipeline, in terms of digital twin, smart city, etc., etc. So who were the actors? What was the market? What were the technology states of art?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, we didn't think that much about digital twins because it was something like too blurry and hard to imagine. So we wanted to provide indoor positioning technology. But I said, okay, guys, I want to see it in 3D and I want to see it on a phone because I'm able to do everything on my phone. And I don't want to have a PC version only or web browser only or something like that. So this was the very beginning, but after a few implementations, customers came to me and said, Michal, okay, cool, but beside the position of something, we want to see also this data and that data and that data. We understood, okay, the topic is actually bigger and we need to build a platform where everyone can integrate, so to speak, any data source to see the live data in their digital twins. So it brought us there. Now we have multi-site, multi-tenant, multi-floor, multi-sensoric, agnostic technology, which allows the customers to integrate more or less whatever.
That's wonderful. And also it's very impressive for let's say, a technology company and back then a startup to not do the first fundraising in terms of do internal R&D, do the first patch of work before having a revenue flow. Can you maybe share your experiences around your entrepreneurship experiences? Why did you choose not to raise first? And how did you manage all those years, 9 years of client work?
It's, without having the previous business, it would not be possible. So this is the very first thing. Everyone needs funding when you don't have the money. But we, of course, started slowly because it's the concept of shoot first the small bullets and then the cannonballs. So, I took the first guy, let's test something. I took another one. Then we have the first customer and then another one. And we took 3 more people and la, la, la. So we needed to finance Twinzo also externally from Infotech in the past. But Twinzo made also its own money. So we were able to build the stuff on our own. But then the combination of Corona and our expectations of our growth, and when we really got the confirmation that we hit the market, okay, let's push it, and therefore you need external source of money, because from Slovakia to do global business is not that easy, as it would be somewhere else easier. But I think here is even harder, because tiny
Indeed.
country.
Yeah, scaling is kind of an issue for startup, especially why European startups are heading to the US very often, unfortunately, somehow, to actually at the same time looking for extra funding, but also for global scaling. So we also wish all the best for the first round of funding after all those years. Um, so I think Metaverse Summit audience is quite familiar with the word digital twin. However, mostly in the consumer-oriented sense, they know about Unreal Engine, MetaHuman, etc., etc. However, the major trunk is actually infrastructure and the city size, the Earth size, digital twin with real-time data, with a lot of different layers of infrastructure. Can you maybe map kind of like the B2B and industrial, not consumer-oriented side of the industry, so that our audience can understand what it is, who are the actors, what are the markets?
Yeah. So when we talk about digital twins in general, it's quite a chaotic topic, because everyone in the field considers digital twin to be something else. It can be a BIM model, it can be a simulation, it can be a prediction, it can be just the model of something. So there are really different approaches. So we said, okay, let's call Twinzo 3D Live digital twin. And important is also to understand that it's different also from technological perspective to have a digital twin of the whole Earth. If I want to dive deeper or even deeper, if I want to simulate or process the data of something what is very complex or what is quite simple, because it makes no sense to use a super heavy technology for millions and millions to visualize basic stuff, and vice versa. So all the digital twin providers have to have some vertical or niche market when they can operate. No one is able to do everything. It makes no sense. And if someone is now going to build a digital twin, or there are already some, but a new digital twin of the whole Earth, okay, but it needs to be cloud-based. It costs a lot of money. If you want to visualize something small, it's too heavy, to overkill. So on the market, there is place for everyone. Plus, some customers have expectations to have customized solution. They want to have it on premises, because, as you said, it's different when we are in the B2B or in B2C or B2G sector, because for governments or for municipalities, for example, they want to own the IP of the solution, but this is not going to work. If you are in B2C, the customer paying €5 monthly, he doesn't care about the infrastructure. But when you talk about large manufacturing businesses, for example, as we do, they need, in some cases, to have something on cloud, something on premises, something somewhere else. And this is a little bit more complex. And if you want to approach the market properly, you have to cover also these questions, because, for example, cloud only in B2B is complicated.
Totally. Yeah. It's very interesting when you were saying that it's quite a big market. However, there are a lot of different niche, and for each niche, maybe you need to build a specific tech stack, which is kind of specific for that client, that industry, which is maybe not duplicable. So in terms of maybe business model, if I understand correctly, for now it's maybe client by client, case by case, combined with internal R&D. Can you maybe tell us more about the business model in general in your company, but also in other companies in the same industry? And what do you think? How do you think it will evolve in the future?
Yep. There is a difference in our case, what was in the past and where we are heading now. So in the past, when we needed and wanted to self-finance everything, our business was very project-based. So we got an order, okay, we delivered something, we got another one, delivered something a little bit more different, but in the end, we always wanted to have it under one roof. That's actually also the idea of a digital twin, to have everything under one roof. And then we understood, okay, when we are talking to global corporations, 2 weeks ago we delivered the project in Argentina. Are we able to travel to Argentina? No. Then at the same time have something in India and something else in here in Europe or in the US. So this is a complicated thing. Let's build a network of partners who can do the implementation instead of us, and we should be concentrated just on the platform and the daily agenda, and all the service license agreements and everything should be on the shoulders of our partners who can resell our technology to their customers, find new use cases, new everything, and we will gain the feedback and develop the platform in the direction where the market wants to have it. Because this is also important to understand that in different regions, you have different stages, plus in different country or region has different industries, and it has an influence also on the use cases you need to cover. So if you are here in Europe, here is very strong manufacturing business. In the US, let's say the same. But if you come to Middle East, for digital twins, they don't have that much industry, but what they have, they are building new cities. So they need technologies for simulations, for construction, and this kind of stuff, not that much for manufacturing. And if you are again somewhere else, then you want to have these B2C things. So you really need to think about it. Okay, what is my value proposition for the customer, and then to choose the right approach. So in our case, we realized, okay, there are millions and millions of factories all around the world. They need to visualize the data in some way. For example, Metaport has now like 10 million scans in their database. Many of them are different plants or offices or something where they want to see the data in their already existing models. Okay, so let's provide them with a platform where they can import the 3D model. We have open APIs for data integration, so they can bind these two things and get 3D Live Digital Twin on the phone.
Amazing. So you mentioned the very intriguing use cases, because use cases are the best for general public to understand, wow, this is a visualization of this industrial use case. If not for, for us in general, it's difficult to understand what's going on in the warehouse of certain factory, or how to leverage actually at the same time digital twin in the data sense, in the 3D model sense, but also how to manage using the IoT devices. Of course, in this case, you mentioned smartphone, maybe iPad, some tablets, but also some other IoT gadgets. Can you maybe tell us more about how to combine these different layers of infrastructure, maybe using some interesting use cases that we don't know about?
Do you want to see it live?
Yes, of course, definitely.
Okay, so give me a second. I will share with you my screen now. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so when you start Twinzo, you will find the Earth. Why Earth? Because all our customers are global corporations, and they have many plants, so they want to see also where these plants are located. Where is the sun? So sun is right now, come on, somewhere here. So we see that we have now morning. Japan has now coming evening or early evening, and in the US they have now deep night, or let's say very early morning. So here you can see that we have these 6 plants. So 4 are in Europe, 1 is here in Clyde in the US, and the 6th one is here in Argentina. But I want to see 1 plant here we have in Slovakia, in Poprad. The plant looks like this, and all these labels you can see here is now their logistics. Okay, live now. The plant looks like that. But besides the logistics, let's check some spaghetti charts if we see. Okay, this is not a great example one, but let's check this one. Okay, then you see that this guy operates mainly here, and you can play his all shift like a movie. So you see, okay, he works here. If you choose someone else, you will see that he works also in other parts of the plants. But besides the logistics, that's the indoor positioning topic we started 9 years ago. Here we can see also other things like the production. Give me a second. My Mac don't want to cooperate somehow. I have a new Mac, sorry for that. And
yeah, indeed,
okay.
it's
one more
zooming out
time.
of zooming out to the earth and zooming into a factory.
Now I feel like Bill Gates when he presented the plugging in of the scanner.
The demo effect.
Yes. So give me one more chance, please. Window, digital twin. Okay, share. Okay, production. Okay, here we go. So I see that the production is running smooth and nice. If I click on another production line, you can see, okay, again, 100% perfect. If I click on the paint shop, I see 96%. You see the number changed a little bit now. So this is the topic. This can run on a phone. And if I want to see another plant, I can choose if I want to see the plant in Casinetta or in the US or in Milano and so on. So this is our approach to digital twins.
That's very interesting. This very specific use case, as I mentioned, at the same time, what's going on Earth and zooming into a very specific use case. As we mentioned, you also have some other, IoT devices that are used for either visualization or real-time notification, etc. I'm not expert at all. Can you maybe tell us more about how to utilize at the same time in real-time data and IoT?
Yep. At the beginning, when we wanted to track something, we wanted to discover what is the right tracking technology. Then we discovered, okay, there is not single one technology which would cover all the use cases. So we have developed our own interpositioning technologies based on Bluetooth and UWB, but we changed our mind and we said, okay, we don't want to be a closed provider, so to speak, of hardware technologies, and the digital twin is just by the way. No, the digital twin is the cool thing. So forget these hardware things and make it available to everyone. So now we have free APIs available to everyone where you can integrate Bluetooth, UWB, GPS, RFID, we have camera vision implementation, so you can use also cameras for tracking something and to integrate it into Twinzo. So we said we want to have technologically agnostic, and you have this sensor or that sensor, we don't care. Here is the API, bam, please integrate it. And if you have, because in all these big plants and sites, they have many providers. The plant that show you a few minutes ago, they have 4 production lines from four providers. They have different PLCs, they have different computers, they are at different age. So you can't compare a technology delivered 2 years ago and 20 years ago. And is it something wrong with the 20 years old production line? No, it's just 20 years old technology, but the production is still perfect. But you can't compare 20 years ago delivered technology with the current one. So you have to be open, not just in mind, but also in technology, so they can integrate these information systems easily. So no limitations, no locks, nothing like that.
Understand. This also brings me to my next question, meaning that when you are talking about different sensors, it's quite plug and play, and also potentially there are some fits better than the other. However, there are some parts of infrastructure that are potentially provided by big tech company, not only the 4 that we use as a consumer-oriented product, but also maybe some industrial tech giants as well. For instance, for startups and for agencies, for younger tech companies, they are potentially quite dependent on this tech infrastructure. What's the case in this industry specifically?
If you are in the B2B segment, you are fighting actually with more departments or with more enemies. Is an enemy to mention when you're talking about the customer is it can be confusing, but it's important to understand that we are providing technology. And for all these big companies, new technology is always risky. How reliable is this supplier? Will Michal be available to support us also in 5 years? Will be available that or that? Is he not using this kind of technology which has this safety risk and so on? So you are really challenged by the IT departments because you are going to see their data. This is mega important because we are as regular consumers, you get the terms and conditions. Yes, okay. Next, I don't care. Okay, but in the industrial world, it doesn't work this way. So they read very carefully what are you going to do with the data, and then they say, okay, let's have a deal, but you have to fulfill this, and that expectation we have. And we have these data sources, we have these providers, we have these companies already on board, and you have to deal with that on this level. So it's not about like, I am going to sell you these glasses, and you may, okay, I like it, fine, and the done is done. No, you have to talk to procurement, to IT, to their suppliers, to the management. You have to talk to the shop floor guys because they are going to use it as well. Then you have to identify the use cases. So it's really different kind of business, and therefore we want to approach companies and partners who have already this business infrastructure already built, and they want to bring something new to their customers. So we don't need to do it. We need to evangelize the market. Therefore, you came also to me, because this is one of my important agendas, to to educate the market. What are the digital twins? What are the use cases? What are the providers? And la 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 la. So when the customer comes and says, "Okay, Michal, we like it," we say, "Okay, cool. Please, in your country, we have this partner who will do the implementation, and we will provide you with the platform. Ciao."
Indeed, I guess it's a very long-term project as well, right? Once it's signed, it's up and running. You can't change all the infrastructure every day and the other. So it's some important decisions to make for industrial actors, and even more for, as you mentioned, B2G business model, the government actors, as you mentioned, in terms of data privacy, security, infrastructure security, very tricky issues. Maybe, as you mentioned, you are also internationalizing the company. So can you share some of the challenges specifically regarding this business model? I guess B2G model is quite local in a sense that this country's government, this local government, will trust local startup more than the other. I guess Europe can be seen sometimes not, as one whole, but I guess outside of Europe it's another sense as well. So can you maybe tell us more about your plan or your difficulties around that?
I definitely wouldn't say that Europe is united in any way. So of course, European Union wants to bring it to some unified level, but there are so many local interests and expectations that this is a really, really complicated thing. So the environment is very diverse, and therefore we are more now in the manufacturing in the industrial world, because if you consider what it means to implement something for the government, they have to have a project for that. Then they have this very complicated procurement process. You have to win the deal. Then in many cases, you have to pay something in advance as a guarantee that you are really going to deliver the thing. So it's very costly. You need a lot of capital to deliver such a project. Many municipalities and governments are in thinking very obsolete. So it's even harder business, at least from my perspective, than the manufacturing world, where they see, okay, this is the benefit, this is the cost, okay, benefit is higher than the cost, this is the payback, okay, let's do it. It nevertheless takes a year to get a deal. However, it's much faster than with the government when it takes, I don't know, maybe 3 years. Plus, here in Europe, there are always some issues with the EU funds, because there is something wrong and they have to audit it, and it's really, really complex. Therefore, we are more in the commercial part of the market, because when they see the money in the end, either on the side of high revenues or more often on the side of lower costs, the deal is much easier to get than with the government, where they want to have something, they have maybe some vision, but there is not that strong motivation as in the manufacturing world. They have to daily fight with their competitors, and the money counts. Every penny counts.
Totally. I guess B2G is a local network-based, also increasingly long-term business model, which is not for every startup or company in technology. By talking about real-life difficulties, I also want to maybe zoom out a little bit to talk about some futuristic topics, right? So in Metaverse Summit, some maybe more consumer-oriented brands, platforms, such as luxury groups, retail groups, they are talking about in Metaverse e-commerce or commerce, right? So maybe you can provide us with some other insights from behind the scene, as all the manufacturing processes and the warehouse management are being, let's say, digitalized since a very long time. Direct to consumer pipeline has been established, especially for online e-commerce platforms. Do you think in the future for consumer-oriented product, there is enough infrastructure as of today already for in metaverse commerce in general, from warehouse to consumer table, let's say?
No easy question. Well, therefore we are in this industrial world because the market of an end consumer can be very fast, and most of the startupists, I think, but this is just an assumption, they think that this is an easier market. However, if you want to sell something to Amazon, good luck. If you want to sell anything to any big chain, it's actually very similar business complication, so to speak, as we are in, because you are going to sell something to a multi-billion dollars US company, and they don't buy things easily, and they are used to buy things cheap. This is important because yes, you are going to use us as a reference. We are having 20,000 shops all around the world. Okay, you will get the deal, but we will pay you just this money because we are going to be your first big customer, and you will make on the other guys then the money. And in the end, the startupists realizes, aha, I am working for all these big brands, but in the end, I'm looking into the pocket and I see nothing there. So this can be very challenging for them, because what I see, this is the same thing as we are in. You are talking to the big names, because the typical end customer who should use something from the metaverse, he is not going to pay in the B2C world. We are not used to pay for Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever. No. I want to have it free. Here is my data, use it freely for whatever reason. This is the typical deal. And therefore, I wouldn't expect that we as humans are or will be willing to pay for metaverse something. So the paying customer has to be this big corporation, and to deal with them is really challenging. Plus, in our case, we already have discovered use cases and things they are listening to. So when they ask, okay, Michal, how much I'm going to save? This, and here and there. I know already where, because we have this experience. But in the B2C market, when a big glasses brand comes and says, okay, how is the metaverse going to improve my sales or whatever? Maybe yes, maybe not. What do I know?
Indeed, I guess so. When we're talking about consumer applications, there are a lot of fancy and cool marketing campaigns and proof of concepts. However, to actually put it in the hands of every single consumer, the cost, who is paying the cost, what are the scalable scaling economy effect? Those are important questions that are, as of today, not the case. Indeed, B2C startups are quite difficult, especially when it comes to hardware and hard cost related business model. So yeah, let's also see what's going to happen in the future together. Maybe come back to the show and talk about it as well. Maybe for finishing, can you share with us some of your future planning? You mentioned potential fundraising. in terms of technology, product, and business, anything exciting to share, and also maybe some tips to other fellow entrepreneurs and people who are building inside of the general metaverse and 3D industry?
Well, we have, okay, but don't tell this to anyone, okay? In coming few weeks, we are going to start do-it-yourself onboarding, because this is something what is was still missing at Twinzo, because right now we have to import the 3D models for you or for the customer, but we are almost done with the implementation of do-it-yourself. So in coming few weeks, we are going to announce it and launch the platform in a really platformal way, where you can take your 3D model, import it to the platform. Okay, I see it. Here is the API. I can integrate the data, so we don't need to touch the customer, the contracts, everything. So it will be fully under control of the end user, and we have big expectations from that. And then, if it will push us even more to the industry or to security or real estate or whatever, let's see what the market says. So market is always right.
Yeah, that's a tip from a seasoned entrepreneur. Market is always right. Don't invent the market need, right? Find the specific product market fit is, I guess, very essential for startups. Some startups are going for fundraising with an invented idea. Of course, it could be futuristic and it could work after a couple of years. However, mostly, I would say product market fit is key to the survival of the startups. Thank you again, Michael.
It was a pleasure, Ingzi. Guys, all the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.